to Single Chef. I'm Matt Skollar. I'm your classic single guy with the classic single guy fridge and ingredients. The difference is I know how to use these items simply and quickly to create a tasty meal you can't mess up. So good that even a beautiful woman will be impressed. Now, if you can't take my word for it, you cannot take our lovely Lily's word for it. Right, Lily?
That's right, Matt. I'm going to try that food and tell it like it is. So what are you going to cook for me tonight?
I'm glad you asked. Tonight, guys, I'm cooking something that includes some of my favorite ingredients, some of my favorite things in the world to eat, which include bacon, chicken, tomato sauce, pasta, little cream. I'm doing penne alla vodka, single chef style tonight, so I'm really excited.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
I've actually never had penne alla vodka, so I'm excited, but what is it?
I'm glad you asked. Have you ever been in an Italian restaurant and had like a pink cream sauce with your
absolutely.
pasta?
Sure.
Okay, that's very similar to what I'm going to be doing tonight. That's the basis for a vodka sauce, only we're going to be adding, you guessed it, vodka and some other goodies. So
Awesome.
But where have you gone? Because we like to tell people here, you know, who live in Southern California, where to go to get a good pink sauce or cream sauce with their pasta.
Well, two places come to mind.
Okay.
One is Cafe Angeli in the West Hollywood area, which has been mentioned on the show before.
I remember.
But the other place is Il Buco on Robertson, just north of Wilshire. And
Okay.
it's delicious, like really authentic Italian restaurant. And if I can remember correctly, their cream sauces are really good. So.
Il Buco and Angeli.
Yeah.
So if you're here in Southern California, go check it out. Unfortunately, if you're not here in Southern California, or if you're not in the studio, you're going to miss out on some really good penne alla vodka that I'm about to whip up, guys. First things first, let's go through our list of single chef condiments, ingredients that we use on every show. And we use some of these, we don't use them all, but let's go through the list. We have ketchup and mustard. I've got soy sauce and Worcestershire sauce. Every single person's got salt and pepper, canola oil. I've got my garlic powder. I've got my hot sauce. You gotta have hot sauce, guys. If you don't, go out and get it. It'll add a little spice to your life. And our sometimes ringer, Thousand Island dressing. That plus what I shop for tonight, and this will cost you about 10, 12 bucks. It'll feed 2 or 3 people easily. I shop for a box of penne pasta. I got a jar of tomato sauce. I got a little can of peas. I've got some half and half. And the rest of the stuff I had in the fridge, I had some Parmesan cheese. I also bought a lemon. Now, I grilled off some chicken earlier, and it's right here. I have it sitting here, and that's going to go in our dish. But right now, what I've got going on behind me is I've got some bacon that's cooking down, and bacon, you can't go wrong with bacon, and that is actually almost ready. And I also have my water boiling for my pasta. Let me throw my pasta in right away because this is going to take some time. Penne's a little thicker than spaghetti, obviously, so it's going to take a few more minutes. So I'm going to throw this in. Let me remind you guys out there that our lovely Lily is on the computer. She's taking questions from the chat room, so if you're not already part of the chat room, get in there, sign up, ask us questions live in the room live, and we'll answer them for you. But let me get this going first. You always want to put a little bit of oil in with your water while it's boiling, and maybe some salt to keep it from sticking. So I'm going to plop just a little bit of canola oil in that water, and I'm going to throw my penne pasta in there. I've got a whole box in there working, so we're going to have a lot of food tonight. And I just want to make sure that, and you want to make sure at home, guys, that you stir that like every couple minutes, otherwise it will stick together. And that ain't usable pasta if it's sticking together. We want to make sure it doesn't stick. Now, I can see that my bacon is perfectly timed to take off the heat, so I'm going to take it off and I'm going to start chopping that up. While I'm doing that, I'm going to ask Lily if we have any questions.
Let's see, the chat room is just getting started.
Chat room's just getting started.
Yeah, but we do have one.
Okay.
Sunshine Susie wants to know if you can make this dish with any other types of pasta than just penne.
No, it's penne alla vodka, Susie. That's it. We're just using penne. If you use another kind of pasta, the pasta police will come and arrest you at your house. No, that's not true. You can use another pasta if you want, but the reason why I call this penne alla vodka is because this, I'm sorry, the pasta that's already in there is the best pasta to use for this dish, in my opinion. How I know this dish, guys, is I'm going to give you a little story, a little background. If you don't already know, I'm from New York City. Years ago, one of my good friends who is now a very successful restaurant owner in New York City, he and I were hanging out at his house, and we were like in our 20s, and he had a really cool apartment on the Upper West Side, and we were having people over. We were cooking for people, so he said, I'm going to make my specialty dish. And I said, oh, I'm intrigued. What's your specialty dish? He's like, come on, bro, we'll go to the supermarket. I'll show you. So we pick up bacon, we pick up some chicken, we pick up some heavy cream, which I'm using half and half tonight because this is less fattening. But he picked up heavy cream, pasta, a jar of sauce, and he showed me how to make penne alla vodka. It was the first time I had it, and he made a big batch of it, and I just remember it being like the best thing I'd ever eaten. I mean, I'm serious. It just had every like element of flavor that you could want in a dish. So I never forgot his style of penne alla vodka. Subsequently, I've had many different penne alla vodkas in New York City. There's so many great Italian restaurants, but this is the dish that I've taken and made my own over the years, so this is why I'm showing it to you. With the bacon, with the peas, and with the chicken, because that's how my boy made it. Dave, if you're watching, love you, buddy. Great Grey Dog's Coffee Shop. There's 3 of them now in New York City. Go check them out. All right, so I have an onion here. I have an onion here that I've chopped up. I'm grabbing this onion, and I'm just going to start sauteing that in the bacon fat. I have this on a medium flame, guys. You don't want it too hot because everything will burn. As you can see, our bacon, I'm going to show you on camera there. I'm going to pick this up and just show you. Our bacon is perfectly crisp. You don't want it black because then it's burnt, and you don't want it too soft because then it's not as good. So I'm just going to chop this bacon up here. And if we have any other questions, now would be a good time.
Yeah.
If we do?
We do.
Because I like to answer questions while I'm doing some prep work. So what do we got?
Let's see. Zoe Grace 11 wants to know how long you would suggest cooking the bacon so that it doesn't get too crisp.
That's a great question. Actually, Zoe, I started cooking this before the show. As you recall, I was cooking it while the show started. I started probably like 10 minutes before showtime, and I had it on like, this is an electric oven that goes to 10, so I had it on like a 4.5, 5, so it wasn't too hot. And I just put a little bit of our oil in there, just a drop to coat the pan, and I laid our bacon in, and I just let it cook for about 4 or 5 minutes on one side, flipped it, and cooked about 4 or 5 minutes on the other side. So there you go. But I mean, if you have a gas oven, it's going to be a little bit different. But just you want to keep an eye on your bacon, is bottom line. You don't want it on too high a flame no matter what you're cooking with, because it will burn and it'll smoke up the room and just be no good. But great question. Thank you so much for watching. So all right, I've got my bacon nice and diced, baby, nice and diced. So let me check my pasta. Like I said earlier, we want to always make sure we're stirring that pasta up, or otherwise it's going to stick. So, all right, our penne is boiling. Our onions are cooking down here a little bit, and I want to begin. Actually, I have a few other onions here, building this sauce. It's okay if you don't time out the pasta and the sauce to come out at this very same time. If you have the sauce done first, then you just let your sauce simmer nicely and so it doesn't burn. If your pasta's done first, you let your pasta sit and let the sauce finish. But I try to finish everything at the same time because that's just the way I like to work. Okay, so I have this grilled chicken here. This is 2 chicken breasts that I cooked before the show just because I want to do a little prep work so I could be more at ease showing you guys how to make this dish. So I cooked this pretty well. I just salt and peppered it lightly, put it on some oil, and cooked it up. And then I chopped it up. You want to chop it up. So I'm going to throw this chicken over our onions, and I'm going to show you how this is done, guys. Actually, I'm going to take our peas first and throw those peas in there. Okay, we got the peas on the fire. We'll let those cook. We're going to choose from a couple of our single chef ingredients, guys. Like I said, we're going to use a little bit of garlic powder here today, because that goes with pretty much any pasta dish you could ever make. Throw a little garlic powder in there, it will not hurt. We'll throw a little bit of salt and pepper on there as well. I'm just going to take a pinch of this kosher salt, because this stuff is, as you can see, it's pretty big and granularly. So that's a lot of salt there. I'm actually going to just take a pinch of that and throw that on there. I don't want it to be overly salt. The bacon is already going to provide a lot of salt to it, so I just want to add a little bit more. And a little crushed black pepper. Great. Hey, Lil.
Yeah.
How you doing over there?
Great.
I'm really excited for you. You've never had penne alla vodka
No,
before.
I haven't.
And you've been to some really fine Italian restaurants.
I have, yeah.
So I'm excited to see you know, what you think about this.
Yeah, I'm excited to try it. And
Excellent.
I'm hungry, so.
Me too.
And it smells so good in here.
I know. We always say we're hungry in the show, and most of the time it's true. But this time it's truly true.
It's really true.
I haven't eaten in like 5 hours, so I cook better when I'm hungry. It's almost like if you go shopping when you're, you know, it's not good to go to a supermarket when you're starving because you pick everything out of there. But when you're hungry and you're cooking, I don't know, it just adds a little passion to your cooking. So.
I eat better when I'm hungry.
Yeah, me too. It makes perfect sense. Hey, any more questions?
Yes, we do.
Okay, before we take them,
Please.
I'm going to take our chicken and I'm going to throw it in our saucepan. All right, guys? So let's get that chicken in there, and it's going to absorb some of that bacon fat, which is going to be ever so delicious. And then we'll throw our bacon in a little later. Not quite yet. In a few minutes, I'm going to throw that in. So let me just mix this up, and then we'll take a question from the chat room.
All right, let me know when you're ready.
I'm turning my flame up just a little bit, guys, so you know. I'm ready. What do we got?
Oh, all right. Well, oh, I just lost my place.
That's all right.
Sorry.
You'll find it, and while you do, oh, you got
one
it.
General question that we've gotten a lot is,
Sure.
For people that don't eat bacon or don't like bacon, is there any alternative?
There's an alternative. Either you don't use bacon, or you use veggie bacon. A good brand that I would recommend is Morningstar bacon. It looks a lot like real bacon. It tastes a lot like real bacon, but it's vegetarian. So those are two options for you if you don't eat bacon. It'll still provide that bacon flavor. Or if you don't like bacon at all, just leave the bacon out. I'm putting the bacon in because, like I said before, this was like my first time having this dish, and it was just, it left an indelible impression in my mind and in my heart and in my stomach. So I'm using the bacon. Okay, so let me get that nice and hot, because this is where the vodka is going to come in. I'm going to put it a little higher. And oh, got to stir my pasta, guys. Always make sure you stir your pasta every 2 minutes. Be diligent about that, because if you don't, I'm telling you, it's going to stick together. Now, when you're not sure about if your pasta is done or not, what you do is you take a few pieces out on a spoon like that, and then you just put it over some cold water and take a taste test, a little taste test, like I'm going to do right now. I like my pasta al dente. I think that's the only way to eat it. So you have to be very careful with pasta, and you have to monitor your pasta. Otherwise, it will cook before you know it. It'll be too soft and mushy. That's close. Another minute and a half, and we'll have al dente pasta. Okay, great. Now, let me get I have some vodka in the freezer. If you're a single person out there, I advise you to get a little vodka and put it in your freezer. It will always come in handy, whether you want to have a little sip or you want to use it in your cooking. So, now, I got a bottle of vodka here. I'm not using the whole bottle, because then we'll get drunk off our food, but we are going to use this to flavor up the dish. And this is going to add a little bite to our dish, if you will, okay? So here we go. I put about a shot in there, maybe a little bit more than a shot. It's going to evaporate as it cooks, but the chicken and everything else in there is going to absorb that flavor. So you'll taste that vodka in the dish, but it won't be overwhelming. Put that back in the freezer. Okay, so I've got that going on. Now, I'm going to put my bacon back in. Okay, I want to stir that up because I want everything to mix together nicely. But let me show you guys here on camera real quick. Okay, so you see we got our chicken, we've got our bacon, we've got a nice portion of everything. Nothing is overwhelming anything. What I want to be in there the most is the chicken, and it is. And we've got our onions that have cooked down, and our peas. So, put that on there, and we just throw in our excess chicken and stock in here, or gravy. Beautiful. Okay, next thing, I want to let that cook just for a minute, then I'm going to pour in our tomato sauce, which I'm going to put there in 1 minute, and then I'm going to put my half and half, and I'm going to cut a lemon right now, and I'll show you what we're going to do with that. While I'm doing that, I'm going to clean my knife. Lil, got any more questions?
We do.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love the
Blowing
questions,
up in
guys.
Here.
I know. It's great. What do we got?
All right. Lanatak 1 wants to know if the brand of vodka matters, or should you only use top shelf, or can you use the cheap if you want?
Well, if you're a top shelf vodka drinker, guys, then use your top shelf vodka. Not everyone out there can afford the top shelf vodkas of the world. So whatever you got in your fridge, you can use. It's going to provide the vodka flavor. It really doesn't matter at the end of the day, you know, if it's, you know, triple distilled vodka or single distilled vodka. As long as you get that vodka flavor in there and that alcohol in there, you'll be fine. But great question. I like the way our audience, I like the way they think. They ask some really questions that I wouldn't even think of. You know what I mean? Okay.
Yeah.
Lil, tomato sauce time.
Okay.
Tomato sauce time, guys. Our stuff, this is why I cooked the chicken beforehand. I wanted the chicken to already be cooked. I didn't want it to be an issue. And the chicken only took like 10 minutes, okay? So our chicken is mixing in with everything nicely. Ooh, pasta. Pasta's gonna be ready. Matt, can we just, here we go. And this, yeah, that camera right there you just had. When your pasta rises to the top like that, that's when you know it's done. So let's take that pasta off the heat. Now, if you hear me saying Matt, that's our director, Matt Edwards upstairs. I'm not referring to myself in the third person. All right, let's take that off and let's drain that pasta. Okay, put that back over here. And let me just, we can see what's going on here on the stove. Everything is cooking down nicely. Very nice, very nice. Let's put our cream in, guys. Like I said, my friend cooked it with heavy cream. I'm trying to be a little more calorie conscious. So really, at the end of the day, this is not, although there's bacon in there, there's a little bit of half and half. It's not going to be like crazy, crazy calories. But listen, everything in moderation, right? You go to the gym, you work it off, or you go for a jog or whatever. Figures that I bought the half and half that doesn't open. You know, you get like 1 out of 4 like milk cartons that don't open. I just got one live on TV, live on the internet. There we go. I got it. All right, in you go there, buddy. I'm just throwing in about half a cup, and that's our cream for this. That's what's going to make this a pink, creamy vodka sauce. I have some hot sauce here. I'm a sucker for hot sauce. I got to throw a little bit in there. Just a little bit, just to give it a little bit of a bite, but I really didn't put that much in. I did it like that, so it's good. And let me stir that up. And as you can see, all the you know, the cream, the chicken, everything is going to cook nicely together. And this is something that doesn't require, you know, an hour of cooking, an hour of simmering. I mean, if you have the time, really, I mean, 25, 30 minutes, and you can have yourself a really, really good vodka sauce. So, if you're not trying, if you're not following at home right now, you can go back and watch us again for free on iTunes, on podcasts, or on YouTube or wherever, and you can follow this recipe and cook it at home. Okay, so I've got a nice boil going on there on my. That's exactly what I'm looking for. Oh, the lemon. Sorry. Watch. This is just going to give it a little citrus, just a little bit of a kick. I love to put lemon on stuff, and this will also cook down too, but it'll give it a little citrus bite. If you make it like lemon and tomato sauce, trust me, it goes well together. Okay, time to throw in our sauce.
Awesome. We have another question.
Really?
For you too.
What do we got? Here, let me just throw this in real quick.
Yeah, whenever you're ready.
Okay. I'm not throwing in the whole thing, but I threw in about 3/4 of like, you know, an average jar of pasta sauce, and now we want to mix that up. And you're going to see how red sauce and cream turns pink. What's the question?
This is from The Revelation.
The Revelation?
Yeah, The Revelation wants to know
is
how
that
many
like
girls...
Prince and the Revolution?
Sure.
Okay.
How many girls have you made this dish for, and how did it pan out for you?
You know what? I haven't made this for a gal in a long time. It's a sad story. I've been single for a while out there, ladies. And I've been cooking mostly for myself, but the occasional lady friend that I have cooked this for, it's gone all right. It's gone pretty good. If you're a single guy out there, you're not going to go wrong by cooking this for your girlfriend or for a girl who you're hoping to be your girlfriend. Trust me. But alas, you know, cooking a good penne vodka alone may not solve your single problems, but it won't hurt them either. I try to avoid that answering that question. I don't know if I actually answered enough, but
No, I think we want to hear more.
Really? Well, I'll tell you what. We're going to replay the show right afterwards. I'll get online and I'll answer any questions you might have live. All right, so I've got a nice pink thing going on here, guys, as you can see. I'm going to turn our flame down just a little bit, and because I don't want it to like all boil, like bubble out of the pan, which it will if it's too high. But I have to give it a little taste test, because when you're cooking, you got to taste test your stuff to make sure it's where you want it to be. And we're almost ready to eat here. So let me take a little taste test here. It could actually be a little pinker. I could put a little more cream in there, just a little bit to taste what this thing is what's going on here. I'm putting a little tiny bit more cream, but it's close. Now, if I was using heavy cream, Lil,
yeah,
the amount I put in half and half would have taken care of, it would have been more pink because there's more fat in there. But I'm trying not to cook too fatty. You know what I mean? So actually, at the end of the day, it's not going to be, like I said, it's not that fattening of a dish, but it's packed with flavor. They're absolutely packed with flavor. So as you can see, just throwing in a little bit more cream or a little bit more half and half is going to bring that to a little more pink status. I'm going to throw a little bit more hot sauce in because I want it a tiny bit spicier. And I'm just going to mix that up a little bit more. And if we have one more question, I'll be happy to take it. If not...
we do.
Great. What do we got?
Our loyal viewer, Tam Divan.
Ah, hello.
She wants to know if you were making this for a lady friend.
Yeah.
What kind of wine would you choose to go with this?
That's a great question. Since, I'm more of a red wine drinker than white wine, but this dish would require red wine because it's a red sauce, a pink sauce. I would choose something in the middle, maybe a Pinot Noir, which is light, not too heavy like a Cabernet. So maybe a Pinot Noir or a Syrah, something like that. Good question. Like where your head's at. Cool. All right, so now for our presentation, I'm going to take this bowl right here, and I'm going to pour our pasta out onto the bowl. And actually, I left out putting a little bit of oil in there with the pasta so it doesn't stick after you cook it is also a helpful thing, which I can do right now. Just a little bit, or if you have butter, you can throw a little butter. I'm just going to put a little bit of oil in there. And then mix that up so it doesn't stick. Let me just wash this. And then Lil,
yeah,
we'll get you up here to taste some food. Actually, I have to pour a little bit of pasta out because this bowl's not going to handle everything. So I'm going to put a little bit more in our strainer for later. There we go. This is perfect for two. So here we go. I'm going to show so people at home can actually watch this and see what we're doing. I have some Parmesan cheese here. Then I'm just going to sprinkle on there. It's going to give it a little bit more flavor, okay? And then I'm going to bring Lil up, and we're going to chow down on some penne alla vodka. All right, just a little bit in there. Let's stir that penne up. And I can guarantee this penne, perfectly al dente. Love it. Okay, want to come up?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so guys, let me show you here. We're going to pour that directly over the pasta. And we're just going to let that sink in there for a second. And if you wouldn't mind, there's two bowls behind us.
Absolutely.
Grab those bowls.
This looks delicious.
This is going to be great. However, it's going to be even better 5-7 minutes down the road when it's actually had a chance to cool off.
Not piping hot.
Right. I wouldn't recommend you eating it like we're about to right after it's done cooking because you're going to burn your mouth a little bit. But we're professionals here on the show.
We're used to it.
Yeah,
we're
doing this
pros at this.
A while, exactly. So we have a nice little presentation there now. We're going to mix that up. And I just want to thank everyone who tuned in tonight for watching. And you guys, like I said, I mentioned before, we're on iTunes. We're like a new and noteworthy podcast on iTunes for a while now, so we're really psyched about that. You can go on iTunes, go under podcast in the arts department or arts section and find us, The Single Chef, and watch our episodes for free. We have a lot of great cooking shows out there that you can learn from. And we're on YouTube, The Single Chef. We're on Facebook, our fan page. We have a fan page, The Single Chef, you guessed it. And also, what else? What am I leaving out?
Twitter.
Follow
us on Twitter.
At The Single Chef?
That's right.
Okay. There you go, guys. If I missed anything, I'll let you know. But here we go. We got 2 nice bowls of penne. And look how much leftovers we're going to have. This is going to feed us really nicely, and we got plenty left over.
Here you go.
Oh, thanks. So you might want to blow on that
Okay.
because it's going to be really, really hot.
Yeah.
Here goes.
Cheers.
Cheers. Huh. Oh, I'm sweating. It's also like 100 degrees here in LA today.
That is good.
What,
Yeah.
it's not overly hot, right?
No. It's actually not. It looks a lot hotter than it is.
Yum, yum. I wish you guys could be all here to taste this.
It's really good. I suggest making it for a lady.
Guys, learn
She
how to cook.
might be impressed.
You don't want to be single forever, right? Appreciate you joining us here on The Single Chef. We'll see you next time. Have a great night.